Now, if I said it, that'd be one thing, right? But when people who are way, way, much smarter than I am, right? When they start saying these things consistently, it's really time to pay attention. If you are a believer like I am and you read the Bible, there's a word in there, verily, that's in the Bible, verily, verily, right? And usually when you see the words verily or therefore, it's I had a pastor, he would always say, therefore is therefore a reason, right? So when you see that, or when scriptures repeat it, it's not just important, it's re-emphasizing how important this really is. And when I start telling you guys that, and I know it's not only me, I know there's a lot of them out here, but when I start saying it, because I have a small channel, I'm just a random guy on YouTube, just sharing my experiences in my life, things I've been through, the good, the bad, the ugly, and sharing my journey of, how my life got turned around, how it was, one of the most critical things was hitting rock bottom and having to change my mindset, realizing that the way that I was thinking, the way I was already pre-programmed was a big part, if not the reason that I was in the financial position that I was in. And so I don't get on here and just fluff you and just tell you you're going to be a millionaire overnight. That's not me. I'm not going to get on here and tell you that, you can accomplish certain things when it may not be something that you're put on this earth to accomplish. So, but I'm just going to say, hey, if you have the desire and you have the tool set, you could develop the tool set into a skill set and you can get the life you want. That's fair, right? And if you're watching this channel, it's probably because you desire a better life than what you have now. And so do I, right? I'm the same. I'm just on the opposite side of the camera than you are. But I'm just sharing my story of, hey, I want a better life. I realize I'm not going to live forever on this earth. I only get one shot at this, right? And so I want to live a good life. I don't want to be stressed out every day. I don't want to be worried about my finances and my bills. I don't want to be worried about what we're going to eat next. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live below my means. I know it's going to get me in a lot of trouble, but I don't want to live below my means because it's going to put me in a constant mindset of getting small, living below, shrinking, getting in a corner, playing it safe, being comfortable, making it work in a situation you don't really want to work, right? And so my mindset is always, hey, I want a good life. I want a nice car. I want my family to live in a good house in a nice neighborhood. I want these things. I don't want those things. I've had those things. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to shrink. I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to do those things, right? Because we often get that confused with sacrifice. We're always saying, hey, you got to sacrifice to get where you want to be. That does not mean you have to change the way you think, right? A sacrifice could be turning off the television and studying more. That's a sacrifice. That's worth it. So I don't like the idea of getting small just to survive. That's surviving. That ain't thriving. In the kingdom, I always say it's a kingdom of abundance. Why are we struggling? Right? Well, it's not for everybody to be rich. I understand that. And it's not for everybody to be rich, but you should be living in abundance and not lack. I've lived in lack long enough. I don't want that. Right? And so hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Welcome to the channel. I'm Shon-Jhon, aka the Middleman CEO. And this is going to be a short video because I got a bunch of students lined up I got to get to, and we got to start getting their websites prepped for launch. And it's exciting times because people are changing their lives, getting a middleman business, going into the new year with a middleman business that works without them. And we're going to try to push these businesses to 10,000 per month without them having to do the work. If you want to know more about that, visit middlemanceo.com. Watch the free training blueprint. So I'm going to be doing a few videos, more videos than I normally do in my truck or somewhere else right now because the office is being, the office is being remodeled. So until that's finalized, until that's completed, I'll be out and about doing more videos. And so this video is your wake-up call. because again, if I'm the only one saying it, that's one thing. But when you start getting people that are way smarter than I am, way richer than I am, start to say the same thing consistently, all right, you might need to pay attention because I need to pay attention, right? And so now we got people like Jamie Dimon. If you don't know who he is, go look it up. We got people like Jeff Bezos, people like Elon Musk, and you can feel how you want to feel about these people. It ain't personal. So a lot of you got to get out of that bias, that making this stuff personal. You got to get out of that, and you got to get the emotions aside and start using logic. What are they saying? Right? You got to play the game. What are they saying? So, but billionaires, these are billionaires, but Musk, one of the billionaires, he predicts millions will lose their jobs. And so this video is about the millions that could potentially lose their jobs and what you need to do now. Because again, if I'm the only one saying it, sure, that's one thing. But when people who have made billions of dollars are making smart moves out there, they start to see the future, then that's something totally different, right? And we need to pay attention to it. So Musk is warning that millions of people will lose their jobs, and not even like in the next decade. That's 10 years. It's going to be amazing how fast these next 10 years go by. But he's talking about in the next few years. And most people are pretending they don't hear him. But I'm listening. Oh, I'm listening. Because I can see what's happening. Almost every day you can jump on Instagram or Facebook or something else, and there's an article about layoffs. And listen, these are not 10, 15 people. These are thousands of people being sent home with their last paycheck. That's terrifying. Especially understanding that most people in America have less than $1,500 in their savings accounts. By the way, you guys always talking about you got to have an emergency account. Well, how long have you known that? 20, 30 years? And still Americans only have 1,500 or less? Then that's not the way, right? That's not going to, that's not a savings account. That's a countdown to a disaster. And I always say this, if savings was the way to financial freedom, then why don't the banks save money? That's enough right there. But layoffs, automation, AI doing the work of 100 people. So today I'm going to show you what I believe. Well, today I'll show you why I believe this has happened, how it affects you, and a path that I believe I've found that could keep you from being a victim. All right. So Elon again, and so many others, but we'll just stick with Elon. He predicts that AI is going to become so advanced that most jobs will become optional. Optional. You don't want to go to work. You don't feel like it? Oh, that's fine. AI is already there. In fact, don't come in again. Stay home. You don't want to get on the road and drive to the office. You want to work from the house. Okay, AI is already there. Don't come back. That's how it's going to go down. Right? So this isn't like robots in movies or your employer quietly replacing you to save money, even though that is happening. But companies don't care about loyalty. They don't care. If you go in there and God forbid something happens to you, they're going to roll you out in a box in a white sheet or on a gurney, and they're going to place a now hiring. Well, they may not even do that, but they'll fill you the next day. Life will go on. And it's that way for all of us. But if AI could do your job faster, cheaper, without PTO, without vacation, without whining, without asking for a raise or promotion, the real question is, why would they keep you? I always say, look, ask yourself this, can AI do my job? And if the answer is not a definitive no, then the answer is yes. Even if it's not now, it's yes. So right now you're seeing Google layoffs, Amazon layoffs, bank layoffs. I remember going into a bank, there must have been 10 people working a bank. Now you go into a bank, you're lucky if you see 2. They don't need you. FedEx, UPS, it's all happening right in front of you. When you go on there and you see, hey, huge 1 million square foot data center built in the middle of Timbuktu, Utah, right? I've always wondered if Timbuktu was a place. I don't know. Somebody look that up. Is Timbuktu a place? Is the Boondocks an actual place? All right. So, but these are, when you see that, these are replacements. These are AI employees, essentially, that are about to go out. because that's where they're going to be stored. The information, right? I'm not a tech guy, but you know what I'm talking about if you are. So, and why I believe the middle class and the poor, they're going to get wiped out. Well, the middle class for sure, the poor are already in trouble. I believe you're going to see the rich and the poor. That's it. Middle class getting wiped out. By the way, middle class, you pay for everything now. You're the only one paying taxes. The rich are not paying taxes. Well, why aren't they paying? Because they use debt. Debt is tax-free. Again, things they should teach us in school. When you borrow money, do you pay taxes on it? No, it's a loan. The rich live off loans, to keep it simple. Come on, type a 1 in the comment if you knew that, or if you understand that now. Paychecks are taxed. Debt is not taxed. There you go. Changed your life. So, but the middle class, their lives are built on jobs, built around jobs, but jobs are disappearing. You can't save your way out of inflation. If you could have, you would have. Rent going up, you know it, I know it. Groceries going up, we know how that feels, right? We're terrified at the register, terrified of what this bill is going to be. And every one of you look in the bag and go, what did I buy? What did I slip a car in here? What happened? So, and that stuff is happening more than often, right? Paychecks staying the same. Terrible. Two parents working, still struggling. When rent is $2,000 to $3,000 to live a decent life, because that's a decent rent, and a job can disappear with one email, is that security? I don't think so at all. So you guys are trapped. I've been there too. But now I'm telling you, I'm the mouse that got out. And I said, hey, you're trapped. I got myself free. I'll show you how I did it. But you need to first realize you're trapped. You're in a cage. I'll prove it. Go to school. Let me know if this sounds familiar. Drop a 1 in the comments if this sounds familiar. Go to school. Get a job. Depend on that job. Inflation eats that paycheck. Fear and discomfort stops you from changing. And there you are, struggling again. Because everywhere you go, there you are. You can't go anywhere without you. Most people weren't taught to make money. They were taught to wait for money. I'll say it again. Most people weren't taught to make money. Neither was I. They were taught to wait for money, to work for money, to hustle for money. There are people out now, the richest people out in this world, they're not working hard. We've been sold lies. They're not working hard. This is not the industrial age. We don't have to go get a job in a factory. This is the technology, the information age. Everything's online. There are people who have YouTube channels who make, let's say low end, $500,000 a year, almost $1 million a year. Some of them do. How hard are they working? Exactly. So I believe that the harder you work, the harder life is, the more you struggle. Right? The harder you work, the more you struggle. Right? But if you use a system, you don't have to work hard. My middleman business, bookandmove.com, that's one of them. It's working right now. What am I doing? I'm recording a video. Why am I not working hard? Why am I not moving people? Because that's what a middleman business is. I don't actually go out and do the work. There are moving companies who are already prepared to do the work and better than I am and willing to. I ain't willing to. If you go to bookandmove.com and you book your move on there, you won't see me. I'm not coming out there. If you go to my students' websites, Sparkling Homes, All In or Out Moving, so many others, I could run them down. They're not doing the work and you're not going to talk to them. There are companies that are going to partner with them and do the work themselves. Come on now. Should have gotten an amen for that. So a job stops paying you the moment you stop showing up. Don't go to work and see what happens. Your bills don't care if you lose your job. They don't care. Not interested. Not interested. Bills. What do you mean I have to pay this mortgage? Yeah, you got this obligation for 30 years, but I lost my job. But you got this obligation for 30 years. Well, what am I going to do? I don't know. You better figure something out. You might end up doing something strange for the change. I don't recommend it. So, but your landlord is not going to give you a discount because AI is replacing you. That ain't happening. You better start taking care of yourself. So Kids don't understand layoffs. They just know the lights stay on or they don't. That's how I was. Your spouse carrying the weight alone, now it's stressful. Your family's lifestyle destroyed. We're living in a world where middle class families blame themselves for struggling, but they're playing a game that's rigged. Think about what I just said. Now, here's the turning point. Here's where you can shift everything. Here's what most people don't realize. While jobs are disappearing, opportunity is exploding. How do I know this? Because there are some jobs that are AI proof, at least now. And those are the skilled labor jobs like plumbing, roofing, lawn care, landscaping, maintenance, window cleaning, moving, cleaning, pressure washing, on and on and on. Vehicle detailing, all those things. Right? So while jobs are disappearing, these particular industries are safe right now. Right? And the people who are going to win in this economy, the next economy, are not going to be the ones who work hard. It's going to be the ones who own systems. So you don't need a job that pays you weekly. You need a system that pays you daily. Think about that. How much better would your life be if you got a paycheck every day? I do. My students do. Think about that. Doesn't have to be thousands of dollars. If you could just make an extra $300 a day, just 300, 150 will put you at almost 5,000 for the end of the month without having to do the work. That's a system. So the safest position today is not being the worker. It's being the connector. Look at the companies who just connect without doing the work. Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, so many, Amazon. I can't think of them all. Just so many middleman companies. They don't actually do the work. Think about that. Just think about that. So when you create a system that connects, you don't need trucks, you don't need staff, you don't need crew, you're not doing the job, you don't need the skills, you don't need to work all day. The system does the work. I partner with moving companies. I'm not moving you, ever. I'm not moving myself. But if you book your moving job on my website, someone's going to move you who's really good at it and have all the equipment. Just won't be me. Right? So listen, I'm just here to inspire you. I built a system called the middleman CEO model, where the website runs the business for you. Customers book online, pros accept the job, you get paid up front. You're not the worker, you're the owner of the system. Ask my students, do they go out and do the work? They'll tell you no. Whether you work that day or not, because you can keep your job, it doesn't matter, the system still works. Right? So here's my final message to you and I get off. By the way, hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm always curious. Drop your city and state. If you're a new subscriber, drop your name. I'll give you a shout out. If you have any questions or comments, put it down there. I like to chat. So, but Musk isn't warning us to scare us. I'm not warning you to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you what's coming. So the question is, will you hear it or will you prepare for it? Now, those that'll get left behind, they'll just hear the message, like the Bible says, and they'll be scattered on the wayside and left behind. Or will you receive it and do something about it? Will you be prepared? Now, if you want to learn how I built my system, the one that runs without me, I put together a simple, I think it's about a 10-minute blueprint. You just go to middlemanceo.com. I'll drop the link in the first comment. Watch it. Honestly, it might be the most important 10 minutes of the next 10 years of your life. Might change your life significantly. But don't wait for your job to decide your future. That's all I'm asking. Build something that pays you whether you clock in or not. Don't sit around to find out if you're going to have a job tomorrow. Chances are you won't. Don't sit around and wait to find out if your company's going to implement AI. Chances are it will. Don't sit around and think about how to stay small, how to stay in your comfort zone and make it through life. You're going to regret the way you lived. You're going to say, wow, all of these things I wanted to do, but out of fear, I was just too afraid. I was too afraid to try anything. I was too afraid to do anything. I was too afraid to make a move. I was too afraid to invest in myself. I was too afraid to start a business. I was too afraid to read a book. I was too afraid to move to a better neighborhood, buy a better car. Yes, people fear these things. Don't let that be you. All right. I got to go. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. I'll see you guys on the next video. Again, I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day and exciting times ahead for those who want to take advantage of it. But for those who want to stay in their comfort zones, not a whole lot's going to change for you. Peace.